him back, chase him. He really steps back, but then we push again. Let's just go for it. Queen in the middle of the board, but I'm like slightly ahead in development. So we're going for this. I think there's probably some knight sacrifices that actually work. So he's going for this. We need to grab this. We are just in a tactical smasher. I don't know, is that the good word to use? We have to get rid of this knight, essentially. Okay. Pushing forward doesn't work just yet. Attacking this pawn is just a pretty simple and straightforward plan, that this pawn is causing problems in my position. So I'd really like to just trade it off. So I can take, and then I get the pawn. So I win a pawn. Okay, we didn't get a beautiful attack or anything. He could just go for this, but I can bring the rook over quite simply to defend that. So we're going to grab this. He's got really no scope with this queen. So he's defending against this. What if I just attack it, bro? I'm coming in. How do you defend that? You have to push this. But then I just win another pawn. I feel like you have to play this. But then I could essentially force a queen trade. And I never got to castle, but I'm not really convinced that I need to. Now that I'm up a pawn and I have the attack going, he can defend it a few different ways, now that I'm looking at it. But I'm kind of ready to just launch another pawn. Okay, so he chooses this option. So, for one, I can just take, and then push. So here, we push forward. He steps over attacking. No, he can't. This. I'm attacking the queen. You've got to do something with the queen. The queen goes here. But then I launch forward defending it? Call me insane, but I think my attack is just smashing through, and I never even needed the castle. That's the one drawback of trying to hang on to your bishop. So, okay. The queen needs to stay here guarding this. Basically, I can't castle because this pawn is hanging by this rook, so I just don't want that to happen. So what if I just jump forward? Seems reasonable to me. Then I'm ready to castle, and my rook is on the open file. Oh my goodness, I'm really starting to love my position. And look at this just conglomerate of pawns in the middle of the board. And I'm ready to just castle this way. I castle this way. He threatens me with a fork. For one, I can avoid it one way. Alright, I looked at enough. The bishop's defended by the rook now, so he's got this fork, but I can step over threatening the queen trade. And yeah, he can grab the rook with check, and then I have to take here, and then he could bring a rook over, and I step over, and he could trade. I'm still winning in that endgame. I'm up 2 pawns. I've got 1 minute and 9 seconds on the clock. Don't love it. We've also got this, and then push, which is just really scary. Crashing through the position. Pushing this pawn in a key moment, actually. Or even this, boom, boom, and that kind of dislodges, so I could go boom, and if he plays forward, I just capture. So this is my new idea. This, and then if the queen comes in, my rook comes attacking the queen, and I love my position. Okay, so he's going for this. So it looks like we're going to trade everything off. Because my queen is attacked. I can either remain with the queen, but we're going to do this. He could bring the rook, but I take this first. I'm not even going to think too hard about everything that just happened. This is a fork immediately. So we're stepping forward. That blocks the forward momentum of this knight. 54 seconds on the clock, up 2 pawns, but we still got to win. So just because we're crushing doesn't mean we won the game. Would love to get rid of this guy. Here. 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 We then attack again. And you're trapped, actually. So he'd have to step here. But once he does that, I can kind of defend against his infiltration squares. So if he goes back here, yes, attacking me, but I step back, and then these two key squares are actually cut off. And so now the knight is not getting back into my position. This way, he could... Actually, no. My rook is doing a tremendous job just defending everything. So I'm still kind of keen on the idea of push-push. Let's just go for it. If he pushes here, we're going for this. I can maybe even get my bishop in. And we've got this rook trade in the cards, and I can even take with the bishop so I don't destabilize my pawn structure. Not sure if that's like super important, but our opponent's got 24 seconds. And I think he's just has a really impossible to defend position. We're going to take this with check. Diagonal is still protected. We step forward. He can get in with a check. Now that I realize that, that's probably his best case scenario. We step forward. Still, we've got the diagonal, so I don't hate my position. We're going to go ahead and just give him time. I'm tired of people losing on time, so we're going to take this rook. Challenge the open file. Take. And we need to be very careful about not losing. This is protected, so if his king ever wanders too far... What do I play here? Boom, boom. I think this creates a pass pawn over here. Like so. So, destabilized, yes. King can't immediately get in. We're playing this. Defended by my dude. Okay, we're going for this. Boom, boom is kind of... Go ahead and give him some more time. Dude is absolutely just... We step back. Defended, attacked. We're going to go for this check, potentially. I can also just get in and start nibbling away at these pawns. So we're stepping in. We're also going to push this forward. Okay, we're going to step back. This is defended. This guy is, like, not defended, but we're chilling. We're going to go for this pawn break. We'll go for this if it really comes down to it. We'll just defend everything on this side of the board. Then we go for this pawn push. We're going to just go ahead and give him some more time. We're going to give him this check. So now this king needs to actually stay on this side of the board. So he's going to trade like this. We go for this. And that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of different ways that I can win this, but I have 3 extra passed pawns, and so essentially that is how you win a game of chess. But I'm still going to show you. He wants to hit us with opposition, so what we're going to do is just start pushing this pawn. At some point, he's going to need to get in front of it. So we'll give him a check. He goes here. We go here. Where are you going, bro? We step back. And then he's going to have to go left or right, essentially. And so we are going to go this way. We're going to let him get this pawn. So we'll step over here. He can grab, but we're going to make a queen with this new pawn. And it appears that our opponent does not fancy the idea of resigning. So I'll show you a quick and easy way to checkmate this guy. He's stepping over, and so we're trying to get the king in a smaller and smaller box. So the box has yet again shrunk. Right now, I can't put my queen on another box string, so we bring the king. We bring the king. Now, shrinking the box has all of a sudden became an option because it is defended. So now he's forced with the idea of shrinking the box yet again. I think we're just going to do it this way. We'll do it this way. There's 2 ways that you can do this, essentially. You can get your king on this square and checkmate this way. Or you can bonk him on the head he steps back to 1 square. Most likely he goes here, but then we cut him off this way. So his only legal move is to step over. We chase him with the queen. He steps over, we chase him with the queen, and we just chase him until he's stuck in a little tiny 2x2 over here. Then we're free to bring the king. And with increment, you can like really take your time with all of this. We bring the king, and now we are ready to checkmate. If we want, we can even mess with him. No, we can't. We're going to checkmate him. No point in hanging the queen or stalemating. It's late at night. I'm tired. That was a great game. Let's run through this. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, so we just traded equally. Got the bishop, got the knight, but we just ruined the pawn structure. So we just made weaknesses in the position. And so just trade pieces if you can make weaknesses, such as doubled pawns. Generally, the way you win a game of chess, I would say like 80% of the games that you win are from just being up a pawn. Like you're able to just grab a pawn and you get into some sort of endgame where you promote and get a queen, and that's how you win. So let's check with the computer and see how accurate that actually was. It felt pretty good. I felt like most of those moves that I was making were fairly reasonable. So let's run through this. The opening doesn't matter all that much. We get some stuff developed. I'm liking it. Chasing him is the best move. Chasing him again. Capture, capture, and we just made 2 weaknesses. Okay, he could have just stepped back as well. Immediately we attack it. He can defend it like this. So I didn't see that. I must admit. He could defend it like this, or he could also just attack my bishop, and then I got to do something, and then defend it. Okay? So we trade, and here we go. -3. I guess either move was okay here. Attacking the queen. That's fancy. Cutting off the king's escaping squares. Okay. This was less forcing, and it kind of just led to a simplification into an endgame where I have the bishop versus the knight, but I'm up 2 pawns. So that's what we went for. Up 2 pawns, up 3 pawns, and just trade everything down. Create a passed pawn, defend the bishop, pass pawn on a dark square, and then we realized that both of his pieces are stuck over here dealing with all of this nonsense. So I can just I'm gonna be able to crack open somehow in this way and get a pass pawn, because it's a king and 2 pawns versus 2 pawns instead of just a 2-on-2. A 2-on-2 is they get to a standstill, but with the king there, you're breaking through. And so let's check how accurate was it. 98% accurate. 1 inaccuracy in a blitz game. Bro, I might be the best chess player to ever live. 98%. I've only ever done that like 5 times, 4 times. It's normally like 96, 97 when I feel like it's a good game. That was a really accurate game. Holy macaroni. Please subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Oh, hello and welcome back, and thank you so much for clicking on my video, my fellow chess enthusiast. If you are trying to get better at chess, you are in the wrong place, because what is going to happen in this game is we're going to play the opposite side castling attacking version of the Sicilian. So this is Sicilian. We're going to go into, I hope, some sort of open-ish structure where the bishops get to bishop. The knight trades off almost immediately because it becomes a problem. And so the game plan is as such. Develop the knight, develop the bishop, do something with this bishop. I'm unsure of what that plan is yet. Do something with the queen, castle this way, he'll go this way, and we launch some pawns. So none of that has happened yet, but mark my word, all of it is going to happen. And then we're going to try and perfect the attacking game of chess, because literally the way that I win every game of chess is so boring. I just go up a pawn, like some tactic in a middle game or something, and I just win in an end game. And I am so tired of doing that. I want to figure out, how do I attack? If he ruins my pawn structure, for one, it ruins my pawn structure, but then this guy's hanging. So deciding what to do with this bishop, my bishop is going to become a pawn temporarily, because we are not going to hang this pawn, because this pawn will be a thorn in the enemy's position at some point. I'm already occupying some squares in the center, which is good for me. And so if he captures, cool. We got a ruined pawn structure. I'll still castle this way, bro. I will still do it. So what he's really going for is figuring out how to, just win a pawn on this side of the board. But it's not going to happen. It is just straight up not going to happen. And I think this is pretty close to what I had predicted. You know, I put some of the pieces where I had planned to do so. We're still got to figure out what to do with the queen. Most likely we're just going to go here to e2 because I can't go here, and I don't want to get in the way of this pawn. So that is my analysis on this position thus far. This little standoff, we're not going to do that. We're going to develop the queen first. Most likely he brings the knight. He brings the knight or pushes his pawn, or he castles. And if he castles, so we're playing, by the way, we're playing a 5+5 casual because, 2 tips. If you want to have a fun and enjoyable chess experience, bro, just play casual because you don't have to worry about the elo. And then for 2, nobody cheats in casual. Okay. So I've played 2 grandmasters in my life, okay? And one of them gave me some free advice. We had a somewhat similar position, and he said that f4 is more forcing than f3. The computer says that they're the same, but I'm going to learn how to just make this work because he hasn't castled, so I'm throwing this pawn. Stepping back to touch my knight. Now that I have pushed, maybe my grandmaster friend knows what he's talking about. I think I like the idea of bringing my knight to this side of the board. He still needs to develop some pieces. So if he's not careful, I might not even castle. I might just try something forcing like this, where a capture will take place because I will be touching 2 pieces. If I push this pawn, a capture does not need to take place because he can simply push it forward. So he defends this idea. Terrific. I really want him to castle because what I don't want is to launch, I don't want to push this pawn. I mean, let's go for it. That's an uncommittal mood. I was literally thinking about just pushing this pawn. I kind of like where my pieces are. I'm somewhat developed. And he wants to get a head start. So it looks like neither of us are really going to be castling during this game of chess. And so that's exactly what we had asked for. So I still somewhat like this idea. It's supported by the queen. So boom, boom. Jump in with the knight. Capture, 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 capture. Then the knight goes somewhere. And then I castle. I don't want to rush into any sort of endgame. That is for sure. Let's just do it. We break in the center. My queen is looking at the king. This forces a trade. He has not castled yet. And he has to do something about it. And so if I'm lucky, he won't get to do anything with the bishop. That's never really going to happen. But we're going to do our best. And then I am kind of ready to castle this way, with the slight problem of my knight getting attacked. What do? I jump to the middle. I push the pawn. Now I got to square for my knight. Ooh, this position is just playing itself. And I am ready. Even after something like this, maybe I just push forward again and really just try and destabilize this naked king. Because I feel like he's only castling this way unless he moves the bishop. So, okay, so what I was talking about is capturing like this is forcing because it does something with this knight, but then I just... Where does this knight go? He goes over here, but then I attack him. So where is this knight going to go? He has to go... If he goes here, I feel like that's just not good for our opponent. Because I can just capture, right? Attacking the queen, you have to take. And then I'm ready to push forward. But then he might just castle. He might just say, you know what? At that point, I'm castling and going down a pawn. So I definitely don't want to do an up a pawn winning an endgame situation. If that's what it comes down to, that's what it comes down to. I did my best for you boys and my one female viewer. But we'll see what happens. Because really, like, coming this way just gets you trapped. No, it doesn't. There's a fork. Okay, you got to think about where's the knight going to go after I attack it. It's going to fork my 2 most valuable pieces. So over here does sort of work. But then I can jump in with my knight, attacking your knight. And if you defend, that destabilizes your position, at least somewhat. Correct? Then I attack the knight. 2 minutes on the clock. Let's give a quick little peek. How are your bullet skills? He steps all the way back. Oh my goodness. He's either a genius or an idiot. Well, what do we do with that? This pawn is actually kind of weak. I did not even consider him stepping all the way back. And so how do we punish? Immediately we attack this rook. I like the idea of this, because it kind of forces the idea of this, this, this. Then my knight's trying to come to the party. I feel like my bishop sucks. So just trading it off is probably a good idea, because this bishop is going to be annoying, okay? Like, if his bishop gets on this square and just gets this diagonal before my bishop does, it's annoying. So what we're going to... Did not see that coming. I kind of like the idea of just pushing this. Do we castle now? Well... This is an idea. Launch. What is the game plan moving forward? We castle, he pushes. I jump over. Let's do it without even thinking. 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. My rook is at least active now. He can step back like this and now castle, which was the game plan all along, to be completely honest. But the knight going here is actually a great square for his knight, because look at the future momentum of that knight. However, look at our opponent's clock. And for no bullet skills, I'm a little bit scared for him. So I really like launching a pawn. We can also trade, like try and get active with my bishops. Attack this guy? What is the game plan, my friend? Let's just put my rook here. I mean, it's just going to let him castle. But then we get the attacking game of chess that I was asking for. And we're running out of time, so it's going to get a little hectic. So we're going to just take that. Cool. This doesn't work because he defends it. Correct? But this... Well, there's also this, so drawing his queen into uncharted territories. So I believe that this move just pins two really valuable pieces. I'm not sure what he's supposed to do about that. You got to do something with the queen, and whatever you do with the queen, I'm going to get this rook. So grabbing a pawn in the middle of the board with the queen seemed like a relatively bad idea. So he doesn't need to resign, he can just step back. But that is like his only move. Because literally I am cutting off every single square in the position, bro. Like, so he has to play this. I could essentially pre-move this move. Because he's going to lose the rook for free. But I'll message him. Don't quit. No, I said do quit. Don't. I've been at work all day, I'm tired. This is the only move. Unless he plays something else, just absolutely genius. Like, he could play this, but it doesn't get out of it, because I don't have to actually move the problem. So, like, this looks like it would make me move the problem. It doesn't. I would just take with the queen, and then the problem still stands. And it doesn't actually help in any way. What's he supposed to do with his queen? Let's go ahead and just give him some time. Seems like our friend is having a hard time over here finding this move. I'm going to tell him right now. F6, bro. F6 only. Jesus. I've got all my like streaming stuff. I've got my little beautiful microphone. I've got a light over here so my face is beautiful. So typing is kind of hard because I really need to like scoot this microphone around. We don't want to do that. And he resigns. Wow, quite sad. I mean, he was gonna lose anyway. And so getting your queen in the middle of the board like this when all of my pieces are active, you know, I'm hesitant to say that that was all that incredibly accurate by me. I hung that pawn, but I hung it while it was defended tactically. So let's see. Let's check with this computer real quick. How accurate was this So we had the Sicilian. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Pushing forward with the pawn, but developing the bishop is just fine too. This is essentially winning because... Okay, so let's say he didn't do that. We chase him around. Is that the idea? We just castle? Okay. Confusing stuff out of the opening. Don't know about all that line. Okay. F4. Best move. What did I say? Grandmaster gave me a goddamn lesson. F4. Okay. So, I'm slightly getting better at chess. I used to play F3. Now I play F4. So, things are working out in my favor. We step over with the knight. We push a pawn. This was kind of a waiting move, if we're going to be honest, because I really wanted him to castle so I could castle. Right now it's saying to just castle or bring a rook, but you know what? I made that move because I wanted the castle situation to happen. He steps back, bishop here, rook over, then castle, best move, completely equal position, and then, oh my goodness, it hovered saying it was the best move for a second. Now it's saying that it's an inaccuracy. And it even recommends it as one of the best computer lines, and it still goes into an inaccuracy. Bro, chess is so hard. So this is a blunder because I can straight up just take that knight, and you can't take back because of all of these tactics. So, like I had explained in the video, I just come out here, and boom. So how long did that take me? Like 20 seconds. 15 seconds it took me to find that. That's actually a considerable amount of time when it's basically like attack the queen in the middle of the board. So, okay, let's moment of truth. How accurate was it? 78%, dude. That is terrible. Not my best game of chess. Not my best game of chess. But at least I found this tactic to win the queen or the rook or whatever. And thank you so much for watching. It was a pleasure playing chess for you. I will try another game. More attacking. Oh, hello and welcome back, and thank you so much for clicking on my video, my fellow chess enthusiast. If you are here trying to get better at chess, you are in the right place, because what we are going to do is absolutely destroy this opponent, blow him off the board with some opposite side castling. He said, hello, good luck. You as well. I have to type with one hand super slow. So it looks like, is this the perch? The French? Doesn't matter, we have the opportunity to put 2 pawns in the center. Now, what you need to know about chess openings is you need to study at least the first like 3 moves, because if you play this pawn here, they capture, and then this check comes in, where you're gonna lose this pawn, and it's just it's not what you want. So what you have to do is capture. You don't actually have to do that. I think that's the second option. The third option I think is just develop a knight, and when he captures you take back. But we're gonna develop the knight here, applying pressure to this pawn. He's gonna go ahead and pin it. We're going to just develop another knight. Is he really going to just go with the double pin action right here? I promise that neither of those pins are going to have any avail. Not with me, buddy. So we're going to break this pin, and then we're going to castle out of this one. So, yes, this is covered by the queen. Okay, you ruined my pawn structure. Great job for you, buddy. We're going to tickle this bishop. He's either going to take or step back. If he took, then he would have just straight up given me the bishop pair. But this knight is on the side of the board. He has aspirations of coming here. But what we're going to do is step forward and kind of clarify this, where all of a sudden this knight has to kind of develop there. Can we immediately apply pressure? I feel like it can't be a terrible idea to just double up my most powerful pieces sort of in this general direction, where if he castles... What do I got going for me here? Well, I can't take here because he reinforces the defense of the knight. I can step here, but no, that doesn't work either. Stepping here really doesn't work either. Does it? I mean, he just takes my knight and I take his knight. Then he steps over. Then we take. But then he takes us with check. I'm actually not really convinced that I played the right moves. So... that forks my pieces. This pins that knight. Man, but this also just walks into like... Let's just go for it. Let's just go for it. So officially, this became a bad idea. I think that it did. I can attack this pawn, but what we're really worried about is boot, step, attack. I don't really want to give up my my beautiful bishop over here. I could temporarily attack this guy. So we could go boom, 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 boom. Then whatever this knight does doesn't come with an immediate threat, and I can move. So let's do that. If he goes for it, I have 1 minute. Bro, I thought I was playing like a solid rapid game. Okay, looks like we're in a blitz game. So not loving my position. Let's just reinforce this. I'm not really sure what else to do. Okay, my dude got kicked. We're gonna have to go somewhere with him. That just kind of brings this. So we're stepping back. He doesn't really have any great discoveries. Maybe this was actually the correct idea. But at this point, we just need to play a little bit faster than super duper accurate. Probably I'm going to step over with my queen. That way I'm like at least somewhat shielded from this onslaught of all of this types of stuff. Oh man, this walks right into this. The knight can come in. But almost immediately I'm going to try and challenge it. Then he does something with his knight. Yes, but I think I can just challenge it immediately. And also, can I just take this? Did he blunder? Is this... How long has this been a thing? Let's just take it. And he resigns. How long was that actually a situation? Okay, I noticed it immediately that it was an option. Okay, so... Did we blow him off the board? The answer is no. But let's check it with the computer real quick. We're going to stay right here. You're not going to be able to see the actual analysis of everything. So we're going to go down. We'll click to the beginning of the game. Computer analysis. Let's check this. Now, one thing that you need to know. Bada boom. You cannot defend this pawn. If you do, all of a sudden you are losing, like you get a bad situation where he captures. You don't actually have to capture back, so you just accept that it's gone. And now here, you have to step up with your king. And it's a bummer that I know that is the best move, because I have literally had this position more than once. And so you're down a pawn, but you do get a little bit of leverage because you're able to attack this queen a little bit and get your pieces developed. So, but it's not all that meaningful because your king is in the middle of the board. So you don't want to go into that. So bada boom, bada bing, you capture. Is that the best move? No, you bring the knight out. But I think this is the second option. So if he has studied stuff like this, you might as well just do the second option instead of the number one mainline theory. Because if this is the opening he plays, he studied it more than me because I don't play this. So get some pieces developed. Both of these pins, not so great. Castle, trade. He gave up the bishop for really no great reason. Knight to the side of the board is just not great. We tickle him first. Can't be terrible. We have a check. Block. Check. That's the idea. You're still in the middle of the board. I could have just absolutely steamrolled him. Didn't see it. Did not see that all that could have been an option. The king is still in the middle. I was playing like the king was no longer in the middle. I played no effort to give this king any checks anywhere. And so this sacrifice did work? How? We step in. You step out. And then I'm just bringing the rook over. You can play some moves, but I could just capture for one. You play this, but you're stepping away from the dude. And then at this point, we're really just coming in to kill him. We're stepping back to give it another check. Absolutely insane computer line. None of that was ever going to happen. Either way, I found the one move blunder. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. It was a pleasure playing chess for you. I'm glad that I was able to blow this opponent off the board. That's how you beat a 1900. Please subscribe if you learned anything. All right, get out of here. Bye. Oh, hello and welcome back. And thank you so much for clicking on my video, my fellow chess enthusiast. What we're going to be doing in today's episode is the Caro-Kann against an 1862. And it looks like we might be having the alien gambit in the position. Will he go for it? He does not. We go to the Tartakower, which is just a great option for me because the plans for black are pretty much as easy as it gets. We develop the bishop. We're going to go for a castle this way. You put the rook on the same file as this guy. We're not going to pin the knight, I believe, because he put the bishop here. So there's no actual pin. So there's no real reason to be doing that. I think we develop this guy first. If he pushes the pawn again, then he's threatening this fork. So sometimes you'll play this, and then that will happen. But we're going to step back, and there is a chance that we get the pawn cube structure. Look at us go. Beautiful pawn cube on the board right now. We're going to put the rook over here. That was still the game plan. I was supposed to play that. I was supposed to play that all along, so we're going to go ahead and do it now. And, like, I mean, if I push, essentially he's just going to play this. And then if I push, is that pawn, like, going to get trapped? Boom. 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 I think I might be safe. Let's go for it. I think that I'm going to be able to blockade it with my king. And if he steps one square further, he's not going to be able to defend it. And then I can even reroute the bishop after all of this and go for the trade. So that's going to be generally my game plan, is what is your pawn actually doing over here? I can also step forward and go for this bishop. I mean, I guess this diagonal is no longer super important for me, but I can go like this and kind of get active, get my queen on this square after the bishop trade. So I fairly like that plan. If he pushes, I'm literally just going to push again. Then he could do something like this and pin the pawn, and then it actually becomes a little bit tricky for me to hang on to everything. Because right now, I mean, it's just my king doing the defense on this side of the board. And I traded off my light square bishop for that knight, so he's got the bishop pair. But fret not. We're still going to be just fine. Still something like this is in the general game plan. And then, believe it or not, but stepping all the way back with the bishop at some point does make a fair bit of sense. So I think we're going to just go for this. I don't think... Okay, so he defends it with the king, so now that is no longer really an option. Challenging this. You know, I feel like I need some space for my king. So pushing this, if he pushes again, I'm fairly certain that that's going to be alright for me. What about boom, boom? Or just this? I don't actually know what to do. Let's here somehow. Boom, boom. Let's just bring a rook to the middle of the board because I don't know what else to do. Like, I'm not really sure what my pieces are supposed to be doing here. So again, if he pushes, I just step forward. If he launches this, I can take. Yes, there's this going on. But boom, boom. Which piece is going back? I'm not really sure. I think let's step forward with the rook, and kind of this is going to be the idea. And unfortunately, his king is on a light square, and he has a light square defender, so I'm going to have a really hard time actually ever attacking this king. So this pawn push, I just don't believe in it, because I can step forward. And if he pushes again, like, I don't think that that pawn is going to be able to survive. And I do still have the idea of bringing something back this way. Like, this might even make a fair bit of sense. Just push this forward and then kind of lock this down. I don't know. I don't think that I played this 100% accurate, but doubling up the rooks seems like a pretty simple plan. And, I mean, this rook is doing nothing. Just this rook alone is not super scary, so I'm not actually really afraid. These pawn pushes, I just don't think they're going to work, because I just step forward. And then I got like a diagonal pawn cube. I'm telling you, bro, this pawn cube, it's hard to crack. 4 pawns in a cube, pretty ridiculous. Because I can just always continue to make pawn moves, and they're always defending each other. It's actually like almost a stronger pawn structure than just like 4 pawns. As long as you got some reinforcements for the back 2 pawns, then you're pretty much good to go. We could even go like boom, 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 and then have a diagonal pawn structure. The cube, but spread out. And our opponent is just sinking in the tank. And so I feel quite positive about him taking all this time. What if he just launches forward? I mean, I feel like I would just have to take at that point, correct? Fair enough. We're going to just push this. Generally, we're just going to say, what are you doing, bro? The reason we're pushing this pawn is because the bishop saw it. And so now it's scooted forward. This is, a relatively solid structure on this side of the board. I'm a little bit nervous about bringing my knight back. Because, then my king is cut off. So it looks like he wants to get in. Boom. Boom. I don't know what to play. This isn't going to work. But if I step back and play it, and then he pushes, it does work. And then I can step up, but then he gets this. What if I think a defensive knight is going to be the best plan. My knight is at least defending. The drawback of that is that my king is so trapped. This file could kind of easily become opened. But like I said, pushing this pawn, I push forward. And you have a problem pushing this because I can capture this at that point. So probably I'm going to bring this other rook over here is going to be my next step in the plan. That way I'm just really applying pressure to this open file. It kind of pins this bishop and makes this pawn push really difficult because I'll just capture and then capture this with check. And if he ever pushes this pawn, not only that, then the king and the queen are kind of on the same file. So that's basically just going to trap my bishop. I could step back. He does this, but then I just kind of maintain. I think we're going to go for this. If he goes for the little pawn break in the center, then he's got a weakness, and I'm actually kind of okay with that. Yeah, so I just step back. Right? Because we want to maintain this diagonal, essentially. If this pawn push ever happens, we can just play forward and then get my queen active. So this kind of sucks that my queen is stuck essentially behind my bishop, but I feel like we're probably going to trade that off at some point. And with 1 minute and 20 seconds on the clock, let's just take a quick look at this guy's profile. He doesn't even play bullet, and he's not that great at blitz. So when I see that I have 3 minutes and 40 seconds against 1 minute, I get pretty confident because, bro, if you don't play bullet, what are you going to do when the clock gets low? Because there are skills in bullet that you only develop playing bullet. You can't reasonably foster your bullet playing abilities by playing a bunch of rapid games and getting to the point where you have 30 seconds. You have to play bullet to get those skills because the amount of time that it would take to play 100 bullet games resulting from the rapid games. Do you see what I'm trying to say here? You would spend 20 minutes just to get to the point where you both have hardly any time. So that move makes a lot of sense. So I think we're going to just stick with my game plan. Ball back in your court, buddy. We're going for this. He could launch a full-out attack on this side. That move makes sense. This isn't really going to work. I'm not sure what my knight is trying to accomplish. I could also go for this pawn break. Does that do anything? Not really. Does stepping forward do anything? It maybe induces this, but I'm not convinced that's a really great idea. So what if we just jump in with a knight? The real question is what is this knight doing? These guys are chilling. The king is more or less chilling. If he plays this and I push forward, this is pinned. He could go like this. I play here. What if I just push now? And if he takes them... Actually, you know what? I don't want to do that because he captures and opens up the file. So, knight here. Man, I'm getting sandwiched. I don't know what to play. What about pushing? Because he can't take, or I'll take this guy. So what about push, then push? Then if he plays this, I go here. I got a spread out. A spread out pawn cube. What on earth? And my knight sucks, dude. Maybe that is the new idea. Actually, now that this pawn is there, getting my knight to this square might not be such a stupid idea. Okay. But the whole idea was to push, was it not? We push. Capture, capture, capture. Let's just go for it. And this is one of these captures that he has to, like, he has to play something. So, what's better? Let's be accurate. For one, I can take with the pawn, and that's kind of like a tempo-winning move. But that kind of opens up this file when that rook comes. So let's do this. He takes, and I finally get my queen to do something in the position. 23 seconds. We are playing 5+5. I should always mention that at the beginning of my videos. Is like, what time control are we playing? Because I change it like every time. So he steps back. There's no rush. I think let's just be accurate and step forward. Still, this is not going to work. That doesn't work, right? I'm telling myself that, but I'm actually not 100% sure. We push forward. Check. We step over. We can grab this. We could just trade everything down. Definitely we are not going to allow this. So I think we have to push. Check. We step over. Then he plays this. Let's take this guy first, because what we're worried about is this diagonal all of a sudden, right? So, capture, capture, but then I save the bishop. He gets a draw. Like here, here. We give him up, but then he gets this check, and then I step up. He would have to recapture. I could give this check. That's worth at least noting. Oh, dear Lord. This is a crucial situation. I think let's just take this first. If he pushes forward, I step over. This is defended. If he steps in, I step up. He gives this check. Okay. Also, we can give this check. So that's kind of just like a tempo winning move right there. Then we just trade this off. He's still got this check. But we push forward. Now this is weak, but the queen is getting ready to at least participate. So I can step over. But then he pushes, check. I block. I think I step over. If I step up, he's got this. So let's blockade it with this. If he goes for a pawn push, wow, I need to be looking at the clock. He wants to play that. Okay, cool. I think we just get active with queen. We're threatening this guy. We're threatening this guy. $20. Oh, dear Lord. If he gets in, what is he threatening? I've got this. Right? Does that give a check? Has to be winning, right? Let's just shuffle around a little bit. Just give another check. I don't really know what to do. We attack this. He can't play this. It doesn't work. I'm attacking this. He defends. We give this check. 17 seconds. Check here, here. Am I just winning or am I stupid? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Let's just trade like this. I'm going to go down a pawn. We then defend. What a crazy situation. We then grab this. Up a pawn. Yikes. I can step up and we're chilling. We're going to defend like this. I can grab this pawn. This is an important moment of the game. I can also do something here, but let's just grab a pawn when we can. Up 2 pawns, and the plan is to somehow figure out how to trade these rooks. I can also get behind these pawns. So I think that he has to step away. We can grab yet another pawn. And he can't get in. Oh, dear Lord. And so there was tactics here when the rook was looking here. Like if I ever tried to get away from being on the side of the board, he was going to be able to capture this because then this pawn would be pinned if my king was here. Like when the rook was here, my king was here. I could never step over because that whole nonsense. So, wow, that was a crazy game of chess. 5 plus 5 really is a little bit longer of a game than you would think. It is not 10 minutes. That was like 18 minutes of chess. And so let's check this with the computer. I've started doing something new in the analysis. And we run the computer analysis while I look at the game. So we check at the end how accurate it actually was. We can make a guess together as well. So Caro-Kann, Tartakower variation, bada boom, bada bing, develop the bishop, castle. Then I'm supposed to scoot the rook over. I know that, and I still don't play it. So like that's what studying openings does for you. I know it's the best move, and I forgot to play it for like 4 moves. So we get the pawn cube, rook over, completely equal position. Now it's saying just capture, but pushing forward is also just as fine. I mean, they're like generally equal. We develop some stuff. Rook to the middle. Little bit of an inaccuracy. And the sacrifice here does work because take, and you can't take because it undefends this. Oh, that's so simple. Literally, I can just take here. You can't take with the king because the queen is looking, and if you take here, then I get in with check. Or, I mean, I get in and get the bishop. So, okay, there was a tactic. I missed it. Definitely, that drops a couple percent accuracy. The same tactic is still here. Just remove the defender of the bishop. I am attacking the bishop. That's pretty simple. I don't know how I didn't see that. Still there. Stepping back. Stepping back. Man, it was there the entire game, and I never saw it. So that's a little bit sad for me. Every single move is going to be a blunder because of that. Even here, I can take, but then my rook just gets in. And I'm just winning. For 1, I'm threatening this. For 2, this guy is pinned. And not only that, if I take with the bishop, then my queen is getting in. So rook sacrifice for the bishop to open up the position. I don't really like making moves like this because I screw them up later on. Like, this is the best move if you play decently accurate after that. And sometimes that just doesn't happen for me. So we trade like this. Develop the knight, all decent. And white is just losing. We take. Knight to the middle with check. We trade this off. Yet another blunder. Oh, dear Lord. We then push forward. Inaccuracy. This game is just smattered with mistakes. Completely equal here if he goes for this, because generally he's going for this check. And if he gets this check on this diagonal, well, I have to bring the queen, but then he could like pin the queen or something. No, he couldn't. This is the best move. It's equal, but he makes this move, and all of a sudden it's not equal. My queen gets active. I'm attacking the rook. He's got to move the rook. This makes sense. The pawn is pinned. We attack the queen. Okay. We go here. Check. Up. Here I was just kind of like trying to farm some time because I was in low time. He has to defend. Check. Over. And I just go for a queen trade. So in this position, for 1, I can just grab this pawn. I can go here and with the idea of bring this guy, and that actually becomes quite scary. So we're making way for the rook getting in. But I just wanted to trade the queens because, I mean, that queen was kind of scary. This whole situation was a little bit scary. So we trade, step forward. We're good. You have to defend with the pawn. And this is the tactic that I was talking about. I can never go anywhere on this file because you can just capture this pawn. And that sucks. So we grab a pawn. We take the rook. We grab another pawn. And then at this point, I have a 3-on-1 rook. But I also have a rook. And then a 3-on-3. And not only that, this guy can't even come forward. Like, this is covered by the rook, pawn, pawn. So he can't even come forward, which sucks. Like, if he could somehow get his king here, then it becomes harder for me to win. But, okay, what do you guys think? I think probably like 78, 74% accurate. Let's see. 77. Okay. I was actually pretty close. 6 blunders. But every single one of those blunders, so that was super, super inaccurate. But if you just forget about, where is it? If we just forget about all of these moves, because these are all blunders, like every single move, from the moment he puts his bishop here. So this move is a blunder. This move is in inaccuracy. This move is a blunder. This move is a blunder. This move is in inaccuracy. This move is a blunder. So and then this is a mistake. So basically all of my moves were bad because there was this in the position. So if we just forget about that one tactic, more or less it was fairly accurate of a game. But I mean, yeah, I completely missed sacrifice to remove the. What even was it, bro? I sacrificed the rook to remove the defender to just get active. There was that, and then there was also grabbing the pawn to remove the defender. And not only that, it's actually pretty bad. So like boom, boom, and then I'm just in attacking this and attacking the queen. And no matter what you do, so like say you defend, well then I just get in. And not to mention, I'm supporting this for my queen. So man, that would have just been winning on the spot, and I missed it like 17 moves in a row. Okay, not really that many, but thank you so much for watching my video. Sorry, my mouth is watering. You guys are the best. If you made it this far, I love you, and please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Oh, hello, and welcome back, my fellow chess enthusiast. In today's episode, I have a special treat for you. I will be destroying this 2100 because what I do is I play a bunch of games of chess, and I win some, and I lose a lot, and I post the best ones just for your viewing eyes. Now, hear me out. I've been playing the Caro-Kann type structure a lot, so this isn't the Caro-Kann, this is different, or whatever. Is this the Queen's Gambit? I don't know the names of the openings, to be honest with you, but I know this move c4, and I'm going to explain something to you right now and waste some of my time so you can be better at chess openings. If you develop this bishop, there is capture, capture, boom, queen to whatever it is, b3, applying pressure here, and you have a -1 position. So what you need to do is develop this knight, and now we have a completely equal position. Actually, it's like -0.2 or something. So he pins me, which is very unfortunate because to avoid having my pawn structure ruined, there are really two options. Move the knight, which we are not going to do because there is this. There is completely ignore it. You know what? Let's be bold. Bro, will you really give up the bishop for the knight for a ruined pawn structure? I don't think you will. So this is a little cat and mouse. Like, he can do it. And I don't really want him to, because I think it's okay for him. But he knows the bishop is going to be important later. And so, ruining my pawn structure, is it really all that important? Hard to say. He did it. We're going to capture towards the center, being practical. Oh my goodness, now that the bishop is developed, does this stupid tactic work? I think, do I develop the queen? And if he captures, I take back like this. Then if he gives the check, I bring the knight here or the bishop back. Because here, and then there's 2 attackers on this pawn, and there's 1 attacker on this pawn, and I can't fix all of it at once. So I'm fairly certain that just ignoring it and bringing the queen is actually what I'm supposed to do. We are in deep water out of this chess opening, and it seems that my opponent has got the best of me. He is rated 2100. So, deep breath. Deep breath. Okay, so he wants to trade the queens. You know what? I don't know what. Do I develop this knight and just allow a ruined pawn structure? Does he just win that endgame? I don't really like take and opening up his rook. I can develop this way? Oh man, I'm in a little bit of a conundrum. Do I just develop this pawn here? And if he captures, I take back? You know what? We have to do something. So I'll let him just completely obliterate my pawn structure and go into an absolutely horrible type endgame. So this doesn't work. Is he just going to win this pawn? Oh, we have to trade the queens first. I'm going to push the pawn forward. Did that accomplish anything? I couldn't take. It's defended by the knight. So he pushes forward and I step back. Then he attacks me again and I step back. But he has successfully put every single... We're going to put a pawn on a dark square. because we are not getting my bishop trapped. Not today. We are staying alive with the bishop. He doesn't actually really want to castle, but we're going to go for this pin, where if we're able to accomplish it, he could take and then pin me. Oh boy, this is a complicated position. I'm not going to lie to you, this is a little bit beyond me. I'm used to like little simple games of chess. And he's up a pawn, so I'm down a pawn. Straight up, just down a pawn, ruined pawn structure. But I'm not going to lose hope, because you know what? Man, he is really just playing some tremendously delicious moves. We push forward. I don't see any other move. We push forward. We get this, sort of fix the pawn structure. My pawns really, really suck. I've been talking about pawns too much. This is defended somewhat. Neither of us have castled. This just invites his knight into my position, so we don't really love that. And I can't even really jump forward, because then he just captures and ruins my pawn structure even more, and then I have all of these pawn weaknesses that he will just mop up because he is a good chess player. But if he doesn't take, then I'm pretty much just going to take. He could castle and defend that. Actually, that would be a great move. And I can't do this because once... Yeah, just develop some pieces. I think pinning the knight is fairly reasonable in this position. Also, developing my bishop just over here. I don't know what else to play, so we're going to just do that. Castle this way? Oh boy. What have I got myself into? Never lose hope. Never lose hope. Like, the position feels like it sucks really bad, but I have the bishop pair. Do not forget. So the computer is screaming right now, equality. Completely equal. Although he does have the center. He has easy ways to castle either way. Dude's got options. And the second that I develop this knight, he just makes another pawn weakness. So I might have to capture, develop. But then there's this fork, so I literally can't let this knight in, because then he just forks this and this. And I can't defend everything. Now I can capture. What's he trying to do with this guy? I feel like that actually gave me a moment. We capture, bishop captures, knight jumps in. You capture and I capture. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll trade off the bishop pair. I'll trade off the bishop pair if I can get some like weaknesses out of it and then feel a little bit better about myself. This bishop is also like locked out of the game. So, and pushing these pawns so that he can never get in, like my bishop might be stuck in this little tiny square. Like this little tiny square. His entire existence. And dude, I'm thinking just step up with the king. Okay, so he takes. Jumping in with the knight. Defending the pawn and developing a piece. If he brings the rook, dude, I might step up with the king. He goes for a capture. I capture. The rook gets in. I got to do something about this terrible, terrible situation. And he could just castle and double up, and we play on this open file. That's what we're worried about. So I might have to do this, and Jesus Christ, I might have to just sacrifice a pawn here. Go back and go for the pawn push. That's what I need to do. This. That's the new game plan. Also, this pawn is hanging. Sort of. Yes, it is, because he has to take back. Then there's this, but then there's this. He gets out with check. So I don't actually get it. So that's a fancy move. That's a fancy move, but it doesn't actually threaten my rook. Why, yes, it does, actually. It's rather unfortunate. Rather unfortunate. I could give this check, but that just kind of just invites this knight, so that doesn't solve any problems. I can jump forward. I mean, then he just kind of steps up or castles or something, so that doesn't solve any issues either. And if I move this rook, and I can't even put it on the open file. Yikes. We lose a pawn. Falling apart, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely falling apart. And not only that, I'm losing a pawn, but I'm also losing in the endgame. But let's check his bullet. He doesn't play bullet. He doesn't play bullet at all, and his blitz is actually not that great. So, being down 2 pawns, but going into an endgame like this, I got chances. I got chances. Okay, so he wants the bishop. But I can give it check. Can I? Check. The other knight comes. I threaten the knight. This might solve... Okay, that might have not been the greatest idea. The whole reason for that was to push this pawn so I don't lose another pawn. You can also attack this, and then this becomes a threat. So, like, getting the rook involved maybe isn't a terrible idea. I've really got no forward momentum, and my bishop on the side of the board still sucks. I'm still sort of threatening this, but even, like... Or I'm just threatening this, but even once I do that, he can just attack it. I just don't feel confident about being able to hang on to that pawn in any such way. I don't know why he didn't just capture. What did he see that he did not like? So now this is a threat. So long story short, I have to either defend. This actually keeps the game going longer, I believe. We push forward, and my dark square bishop just kind of lives there. But then capture, capture. What's coming next? Here. This maybe is too weak. Let's do it. It's defended. Wait. Capture. I have to take. Then this is hanging. Ugh. Tactic to lose another pawn. I'm so terrible. I should have just retreated. I was trying to keep the game going. In the spirit of chess. We'll pre-move this. Try and pressure our opponent at least a little bit. I did not mean to play that move. I did not mean to play that move. What on earth is happening right now? What did that accomplish? I mean, a knight can maybe get here. Do I step over? This feels right. Jesus. Okay, so he wants some action over here on this side of the board. This. What do I do? What do I do? I feel like I need to maybe just sacrifice a pawn. What if I go for this? 40 seconds. This might just go for some simplicity. And I could pin it. Not really sure that does anything so great for me. Okay, he hits me with a fork instead. We're stepping over. Bruh. Bruh. I should have maybe explained that a little bit faster than I had played it, but we're at a minute. So long story short, the pawn was defended tactically because the pin at the end, I was gonna say, maybe in some other situations it didn't work. And tragically enough, I'm gonna have a check and pick this up as well. So what on earth does he do in this position? Games are won and lost in the endgame. All of that opening preparation and whatever is complete nonsense. Don't do it. And he resigns, as you kind of have to. I could have even given him time, but this position right here is bad. It is really bad. Like, you could defend, but then I just take. And you're still in the pin. So if you step away, then I just grab this. And you have no useful checks. Like, everything is taken. Boy, oh boy, the 2100 goes down. Not easily, but he goes down. And so we're going to switch scenes right here. Look, I learned how to do this all in one little thing. There we are. Instead of making 2 videos, I'll just do in one. So let's go back to the beginning. We'll do a couple this is the most important thing. This entire video. Pins are important. Is camera good? Okay. This situation right here, you cannot play the most natural developing move. You cannot. And pushing the pawn is the best move, but then you lock your bishop in. So, developing the knight is the best alternative option. And so, I'll show you real quick. If you bring the bishop, he captures, you capture, and then the queen comes out. And you are just in a world of hurt where you're going to have to give up some pawns. And I promise you, it's you're just losing a pawn, but it becomes really hard to play because, like, he just gets on you real quick. You don't want this position ever. So, simply, c4, they bring the knight, you bring the knight to defend this, and everything's all good. He goes ahead and pins it, and for one, that's just a free pawn. Free pawn, I mean, am I really going to be able to hang on to it? The answer is probably no. Capture, capture, and like I said, this move, it's not the best move. Bringing the queen is actually the best move. But, like, yes, this kind of opens up ideas for that, but you gave up the dark square bishop for the knight. And we go forward. Blunder, not a blunder, a mistake. Okay. Okay. And he's just up a pawn. Plus 1.8. I knew my position sucked. We had to push this pawn. We go for a push, which is yet another mistake. 2 mistakes back to back. We do something with the bishop. Oh, is there just a fork here? No, because he can do this same move and kind of get out of it, I suppose. Okay. Then he gets fancy. He plays this move. And then right here, why did he not just take the pawn? Oh, just take here. Then I take. Then you get in. Okay? So I didn't even see that the knight was defending this pawn. I kind of just thought this pawn was a goner. But he could have just removed the defender with check and then grabbed it. So that could have happened. And it did not. So we get this check where I'm able to push the pawn. And so now it's +3, but I'm not actually, like, I didn't lose a bunch of stuff. It's just sort of, like, do something, it's +4, but he doesn't have 4 points of material. It's generally still equal. I'm down a pawn. And my bishop is out of the game, so essentially I'm down a whole piece. Now, still, why does this fork not work? Because he gets out of it with a check. I step up, and then you just grab the bishop. That's why it doesn't work, because the bishop's there. Okay. That's why the fork doesn't work. Okay. And dude, he just left the pieces on. I step up with the king, and he's still winning. I step over with the king. Oh my god, king defense was my strategy here. +3. Capture. Step over. Capture. Capture. Oh. And then a fork. And dude, you know one thing about chess? I had a -4 position. He has a -2, and he gave up. Bro, keep going. Like, you don't have to give up in this position. Like, my bishop is still out of the game. You are still the one applying pressure. So it's like, even you step over, I mean, like, I grab this, you grab this. It's not over, bro. Look how naked my king is. Your pieces are, like, on top of my king, and this bishop sucks. So sometimes when a blunder happens, people just resign, and I'm going to say to you, don't do it. It's worth playing. Because, like, dude, just, like, you can make a comeback. Don't give up. If you hang your queen, okay, you can resign. But if it's anything else and the game is still, like, active, definitely when you both have 1 minute, anything can happen. I have played games before where I mop up, like, 2 rooks with 1 knight and then somehow win with a pawn. Like, don't give up. And so 78%, 77% accurate. Not my best, not my worst. It was kind of a short game. It didn't even make it really into the endgame. So I was talking about won and lost in the endgame. We didn't even make it to an endgame. That was an exhilarating, fun game of chess where I was losing the entire time, but somehow get a little tactic. How does a 2100 fall for something as simple as this? Boom, boom, boom. Just, this is, I have the dark square bishop. You have no dark square defense. Be careful when your king and your valuable pieces are on dark squares, specifically a diagonal that I'm talking like I'm not great at chess. I was losing the entire game. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you learned anything or simply enjoyed watching me play chess, please subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000, and it's going to take forever. So if, like, 100 of you could do it, that'd be awesome. So thanks so much. I'll see you in the next one, and I love you. Bye. Oh, hello, and welcome back, and thank you so much for clicking on my video. In today's episode, what we're going to be doing is learning the Caro-Kann, because that looks like what we're going to get out of the opening. And so our opponent is 1845 from Argentina. And So I'm 4 elo higher than him, so that makes me believe that we're going to win this game quite easily. Because we've got the 4 elo rating. Will he play c4? Is the question. He does not. He neglects to do so. So developing the bishop all of a sudden actually becomes okay, because the tension here from the queen coming out is not felt to the full extreme. So we're going to just develop a knight. Develop a knight. I mean, tickle a bishop. I could chase him around. I guess what we're slightly worried about is this whole nonsense. But chasing him around kind of overextends my pawns. But we're going to do it because my bishop is on the outside of the pawn chain. So I think we're going to be greedy and just go for this bishop. He comes back and we just capture. He develops the queen and I jump into the position. So I'm going to capture his bishop first. Because if he captures mine, I capture the rook. So I'm going to go ahead and cash out on that opportunity right there. I mean, yeah, he can go for this, but I'm grabbing the rook, so he simply can't. So it was a dangerous levels thing. He was like, okay, you attack my bishop, and I'll attack your bishop. But the problem is mine comes with tempo on the bishop. I mean, on the rook. So now, what is the game plan? I really don't want to put my bishop behind this pawn chain and make this pawn push, because if I do so, boy oh boy, is it going to become difficult to get that bishop into the game. So you know what, we're just going to step back and let him get the bishop, and we're just going to trade completely equal, because maintaining the bishop, but like if I push this forward behind all of these pawns on light squares, my bishop would basically just live in this little cube forever. And so I don't want to do that. So we're going to avoid that situation and just trade it off and get a slightly ruined pawn structure. It is what it is. I still need to push this pawn. I still need to develop my bishop. I still need to castle at least somewhere. So one square, developing the bishop here, and then castling this way seems like a decent plan to me. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to not fall behind on the clock, because in this one there's no increment. I mean, we can just take, right? Take, take, take. Looks good to me. I mean, I'm up a pawn, but it's an incredibly weak pawn. Okay. And then this becomes really weak right after. Didn't see that little tactic. Defending with the knight seems to make a little bit of sense, but we're going to just go here. And now I'm worried about my castling prospects. So he's going to grab this. I push. Capture, capture, capture. Capture. If he gives the check, I can step back. And if he trades, then we're just not able to castle, but we have a completely equal position. Actually, I'm okay with all of that happening. So, boom, boom. Now it's defended, actually. So that's a tad bit of a problem. I think I could just get rid of the queen. I'm not sure if that's really good or bad for me. I mean, I can't really move anywhere with my queen. So capture, capture. I just go for you. Probably he captures here. I capture here. I think let's just go for it. I go here. He captures, but I captured this attacking the knight. So we're just going to give up these pawns and attack this one. He could like step back and defend. And I mean, like, this light square diagonal is absolutely weak, but I don't think that it really matters all that much. He could just castle. Okay, so he defends. I don't really have a great way of defending my pawn, so I'm going to lose something here. I think the only... I mean, I could just go for this one instead. But then he captures here and defends it. So I think we need to just accept that we're losing one of these pawns. Is pretty much what's going to happen here. So he grabs this one. cool. I can throw in this check, develop. We're going for this. Then I'm able to castle or step up. Not sure what's better. I can also threaten this knight. So like if he brings the knight, I can just bring this guy. Then he has to defend. I'm not sure if that makes any sense. Castling would probably be a reasonable idea as well. Here fixes his pawn structure. So if I go in, boom, and he could take back like this. So like if I jump in this, do I have anything on grabbing that rook? Probably just stepping up is going to be okay. I can also defend this pawn by pushing it forward. So I think it's probably my time to step up. Alright, we're going to castle because this walks into a check. We are then going to put my rook here. And like I said, I'm going to stay the same on the clock. So for these next few moves, I'm just going to play relatively quickly and hope that I don't make a blunder. But I'm not getting in one of these situations where I have way less time than my opponent, regardless of the situation. And this is a weakness. This is also a weakness. So I feel like we're more or less equal. Like if he goes here, there's no pin anymore, so he could just capture. Like boom, boom, boom. Attacking this pawn is going to be really difficult. He can just defend it like this. And I don't think there's going to be a great way for me to like really go about attacking it. Not sure what to do here. Defend. I think we're just going to step all the way back. Sucks to do, but I'm not going to just give up my bishop for the knight. We are keeping the bishop on the board. Now my knight, you know, is considering getting in the middle. He can just attack this pawn, but I think I'm going to defend it. He would then go here. I could go here and lock my bishop in jail. But then I would jump forward. I would take the bishop. I think we just put the knight in the middle of the board. That is what the knight wants to do. And we are all of a sudden attacking this pawn many times. So he's going to have to defend it. I think we're going to go here. If the knight comes, we simply get rid of it. Doubling up is kind of my new idea. We're going to go here. He can give us a check, but we step up. And then if he takes, I take. And then he just defends the pawn. But in that position, I can push. And then he'd have to push forward. I don't think there's anything promising there. He can just push. And we've got our little 1 minute time advantage. And so we are entering into the part of the game where I think we've kept it more or less equal the entire game. And we're going to probably maintain to do so. However, at some point, we're going to get low in time and start making some blunders. And that is really the part of chess that you need to practice for. Like, surviving the opening and surviving the middle game is whatever. But the game is won and lost in the end game. And so, more or less, everything that we do is just getting us to this point. So this pawn push works now. We push forward. He can't capture. So we push forward. Say he attacks. I just take. He defends. Then I take. I think we're going for this pawn push. Simply because, at the end of the day, I think I get to take back. I could even take with the bishop. But you know what? A passed pawn defended by everything in my position seems to make the most amount of sense. Now I'm just hanging on to my extra pawn. But what I'm going to do is push, push. And if he's not careful, I'm going to just get it all the way down, and we will go into an endgame, potentially where I'm attacking this pawn and grab another pawn, or I somehow mobilize my king. Also, this rook is like restricted. He's got to move the bishop. I'm attacking the bishop straight up, just right off the bat. So going here would maybe make sense. But then I might just push onto a... I think we're going to go for this. We push it onto a light square, so now the bishops don't matter so much, and bringing the king is pretty much what he's going to do. So he can just like bring the king all the way here. Okay, he'll do it like boom, 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 boom. I don't know, all the way here, then like this? Is that what he's going to try and do? I'm not 100% sure. What if I just jump in? I mean, he takes, I take. He's not going to want to do that. His pawn is also weak. So if I can start, like if he starts letting go of the attack on this pawn, like right now this pawn is really defended. So he's got to do one more thing to maintain the attack on it. And we're whittling away at the clock. And so now I have my one pawn advantage. Pushing this to a light square and like bringing my king up here seems like a reasonable idea. I don't think we're going to waste a huge amount of time on that move. We defend the bishop. The back rank checkmate is not a checkmate because I have made this capture, so I've got a place to go. So it looks scary, but we will survive. And you better be careful, because if I get this, and I start attacking stuff, and I can like lock in the position, I think we just activate this bishop. The bishop is no longer doing the job of defending my pawn, so now let's attack this guy instead. He can probably just get in the way. What if I threaten this? Like, boom. Check, I step up. Here. Let's go for it. Let's try and trade some pieces off. He can give the check, but I just step up. And then I'm really attacking this. So we'd have to figure out a way to defend it. You could probably just defend like this. Man, these endgames are rough. And our opponent's going to need to start playing faster. He's got 2 minutes on the clock. We're stepping up. That was the plan all along. We're now attacking this with 2 pieces, so he's basically got to slide over and defend it somehow. I think we will take this time to slide over here. He'll probably attack this rook. And I don't have a huge amount of great options other than capturing. So if he pushes forward, I'm just going to take with this pawn. But I think I'm just slowly massaging the position. Like I said, if he loses focus of attacking this pawn, like if we're fighting over these 2 pawns. That is what this position. We have the exact same pieces. We're just arguing over these 2 pawns. Like I want to capture yours and you want to capture mine, and I want to keep defending it. So if the focus is defending and attacking this pawn, this one's fine. But if we switch over to this one, like soon this one will be undefended, and we're gonna have to figure out what's actually going on in the position. The only thing that I don't like is my king is really inactive. Like my king is just about as inactive as it possibly gets. So he wants to slide in here and deliver checkmate like this. I think I could just push this pawn forward. So I think I can capture. Wait, capture, capture, capture. Here. We push up. Let's go for this. If he goes for this, I have time. I push this pawn forward. Correct? And then I'm safe. You got to make sure you don't get checkmated. And my rooks are dreadfully undefended. And he's still got a move like this, which is not super fun for me to deal with. Like, what do I do in that situation? I guess I could go full defense mode and defend my 7th rank. and like step up like this. And if we can get rid of his attacking dark square bishop. So at this point, I'm really just going to win on time, which is yet another reason. Oh, he resigns. Okay, yeah, he was just going to lose on time regardless. Most likely with 40 seconds, like you're bound to make a blunder, and there are still a lot of moves that need to be played. And you know what I mean? I'm up 2 pawns. And so, man, how did we get there? That was a pretty straightforward game of chess. It wasn't necessarily the most exciting, but I feel like I played relatively accurate. Bada boom, bada bing. This was a little nonsense, all of this out of the opening. But either way, I'm going to copy it. I'm going to bring it to lichess, and let's see how accurate that game actually was. So I'm going to change my scenes. Where is this thing at? This is for lichess. We go in here. I'm going to show you guys the whole behind the scenes, how we do this. We take it from chess.com. We minimize this. We go to lichess. Import. This is how you can actually do like some analysis that actually makes sense, because the one on chess.com completely sucks. It shows you the top 3 computer lines, and you have to read it like... You got to read the coordinates, which not everybody can do, like me. So, okay, let's see. Mainline stuff. Let's see, is the bishop coming out? Okay, so the bishop coming out is a great move in this position. But, like I've explained, if they play c4, bringing the bishop out is losing. Essentially, okay? So, let's just go through the opening. All we really did... Wow, one of the best computer lines. Obviously, this is not great, but it's not terrible. Then we grab this. Going in or capturing made more sense, but whatever. I guess, because yes. Okay, now this makes sense. I could have captured like this, taken pressure off of this pawn, and not gotten a ruined pawn structure, and your knight still sucks on the side of the board because he never got to capture anything. That makes sense. But it's not the end of the world. Capture, 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 and then I'm just up a pawn, I believe. And wasn't the whole idea... He could have captured back and gone into that little endgame thing. And he's doing a bad job. He's trying to just defend everything. He should have just been a little bit more of an attacker. So we castle, still a completely even position. So we'll scroll down at the end of the game and see how accurate it was. Knight to the middle, stepping forward, stepping over, and white is slightly losing. We go for this pawn break, trade, capture, and now I'm just up a pawn, but I have a passed pawn. We advance this so that none of the dark square pieces are doing anything. We step up. I could have just pushed forward again, but whatever. Positioning the bishop. Why is this so much better? Because... Oh, pretty simple. I'm going for this. Okay. Was going for that back rank idea. We step out of the way. The focus goes to checkmating me. Only real move in the position. I can run away, but then I can get checked, and then I step up. And then this, I'm not really sure what to do. If I play this, oh, I just run this way, and then this check and I step over. What if check here? Oh, I block with the pawn. Okay, okay. Instead, we push the pawn, the best move, and our opponent resigns because it's a -5 position, and it's like, what are you really going to do? You know what I mean? This pretty much has to be done. I probably would have captured this way. You give the check, and I'm happy. Nice and safe, and I'm surrounded by a bunch of pawns. And then the focus goes back to my passed pawn, which your king is actually pretty far away from. He's actually cut off. So say he gets behind, I'll probably give a little check. You step up, and then just defend it. And then it just turns into, like, maybe I even give up the pawn and go for these guys. So either way, the endgame was going to be not necessarily super difficult to win. It wasn't the most exciting game of chess. Dude resigned in a losing position, but sometimes that's all it takes. So let's see how accurate it was. 89. Not the worst. 1 blunder, 2 mistakes, and my blunder was not pushing that pawn. Yeah, my blunder was not pushing this pawn. I guess this would have made sense. Like, if you have a passed pawn, just push it. There's only 2 attackers, and then the idea is to swing behind, where if you take, I just make a queen, and if you don't take, then I take you, and then we're just really pushing for this passed pawn. So either way, thank you so much for watching my video. If you learned anything or simply enjoyed watching me play chess, please subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000, and it's a long road. So get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. I love you. Oh, hello and welcome back, and thank you so much for clicking on my video. In today's episode, what we're going to be doing is taking down a 2100 rated opponent, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So, it's not going to be clean. We're not going to get, no 98% accuracy. When you play an opponent that is much better than you, the accuracy simply drops because it gets harder, okay? So if I face somebody that is not that good, I can play a very, very accurate game. And so there's going to be a tiny portion of this that... So I've studied this exact opening, and I know that bringing the knight is the best move. But the second best move is to capture and then bring the knight. So I think we're going to go with that because we're going to avoid playing this mainline theory stuff. I mean, if he's going to activate his bishop, I'll activate mine. And we're going to do it in a way where we develop the queen as well. So we have maintained equality thus far. I think we're going to have to go ahead and get my little knight involved. Go ahead and pin this because the other moves didn't make a lot of sense. And let's just castle opposite and have ourselves a game of chess, ladies and gentlemen. So, right now, sorry, my nose is itchy. There's an open file. I would like to claim it. But launching a pawn seems like a more fun idea. This knight can't move yet. And I could get active. Is that stupid? What does he do then? I'm kind of threatening to ruin the pawn structure. So let's just jump forward with the queen with pretty simple intentions of ruining the pawn structure. So now he's got a lot of stuff going on to defend this. He could get out of it like so. But I don't think we're going to give this dude time to breathe. What we're going to do is now launch a pawn. So this guy can jump. No, he can't. Not yet. Capture, capture, launch a pawn. You tickle me. I step back. I don't want to give up the bishop for the knight for no real good reason. So we could sacrifice. Sacrifice, take. I don't like it. We're going to save that option for later, but I still might do it. I might jump in. I could have just maybe left it there, actually. Would have been quite scary. So this is what I'm talking about. We are not going to play incredibly accurate. I'm thinking I just jump forward with this knight. And if he captures, I capture, and then this threat just becomes scary, right? Let's go for it. There's no way that capturing is a good idea. We open up the G file, or the H file, I mean. And so, yeah, taking it is not what he wants to do. But it looks like he's going for this attack. And all I need to do to get rid of this checkmate is this knight here. So how are we going to go about doing that? Well, let's think about that for just a second. This. I think just bringing this knight is what needs to be played here. And then we step forward, and if he takes, we're going to try and bring another piece. So potentially we bring the bishop. I think we just go ahead and bring a knight. No, we bring the bishop because this bishop is defending this square. So if we can get another knight over here, I'm feeling quite confident about this attack. So we're trading off pieces. Still, I don't believe in this capture. We jump over here. We're going for it. We're literally just trying to put all of my pieces in front of this enemy's king. And now the position is getting a little bit tricky. He can't capture. I'm literally just stationing all of my pieces. There's a fork, but I get out of it with check. Right? Here, check, but then he covers. Then I actually do need to do something about the terrifying position. What am I trying to accomplish here? Bro, I just want to get rid of these pawns. So I think one capture never hurt anybody. We're going to just go ahead and play one capture. We're going to push this forward. He could rook sacrifice. And all of a sudden, like, all of my pieces are in front of his king, but I'm not actually checkmating anybody. This is still defended. So I think what we're going to do is rook lift over here. Completely ignore this. Rook lift over here. I mean, it's crazy. What about just this? Here, here, here. I think this move is going to make sense. Can't be bad. I'm literally just trying to put my pieces closer to the enemy's king. Then this knight is somewhat of a liability. This knight is pinned, but I can't really get rid of him. I have to trade it for a knight. Check. What do I do? What do I do? I can move this knight, and then this becomes... We fork these guys. You can't capture, it's pinned. If you move here, I sacrifice. And you take, I take. You can block with the queen, but it's checkmate. Oh my god, I think I'm getting in. Bro, this is insane. Please don't blunder this away. He's got this. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. The queen is hanging. That is the most important thing happening in the position. And I have two pieces hanging by this pawn with 29 seconds on the clock. Oh, dear lord, I might blunder. I can also go for this fork. Just check, no? Where are you going? To the corner and I checkmate you. Supported by literally every piece in the position. I may be the greatest chess player to ever have lived. That was a masterpiece of attacking chess. Oh my goodness. Look at all this stuff over here. I wasn't even worried about it. So, was it accurate? The question is asked right now. The answer will be revealed in 5 seconds. So let's scroll down here, click on this button, go ahead and change these scenes. There we go. New camera. Audio still in. Looks like we're good to go. My head's a little cut off, but we're not gonna cry about it. Okay. So, like I said, the knight coming out is the best move. But sometimes you don't want to play the best move. The second best move is just as good, you know what I mean? And so, we get some pieces developed. Best move. Not the best move, but one of the best moves. Decent. Pawn is hanging in the middle of the board, that's for sure, but it gets sketchy with this check. Whenever the file is opened up, your enemy has castled, it gets sketchy. So to go for this or go for this, there's always this lurking check, and I don't have a lot of pieces to block it. Like, I have to do something like this. So castling, they're calling it a mistake, but for a human, I think it's okay. We bring the queen, we push a pawn, we step back and replace blunder. We step back and replace it with a knight. Now, this sacrifice, don't even worry about what's the best moves. We try and trade off this guy. And we play, oh, not the best move. We throw 3 pieces in front of the enemy king. So we've got a checkmate threat here. We've got a hanging knight. This looming fork is just in the position, and I'm completely not winning. One capture never hurt anybody, and you push it. You stop the nonsense, okay? Capturing definitely made a lot of sense here, but bringing the rook is more forcing. And so you don't have to play the best move, but like if you see, we are attacking this young man. Like, you look safe, but I'm literally just trying to bring all of my pieces and sacrifice something to spread these pawns. And so, yet again, another mistake. Another mistake. And we play this crazy move. Literally everything in my position is hanging. This knight is hanging. Both of these are hanging. Everything is hanging. I just don't care. And he hangs mate in 2. What did he have to do? Step over with the queen. With a check. Oh, dear lord. Check. Oh, and it forces a queen trade. Okay. That would have made sense. And then once the queen's trade, you take this and you survive the attack, okay? So with 2 minutes on the clock, he could have found that. So that was probably like 60% accurate. But we got a 2100. That's all it takes, is just forcing, attacking. It's so hard to defend crazy positions like that where the opponent just like is willing to sacrifice everything. And so that's how you do it. So sorry that was a little bit shorter than 81%. I thought the 47 right here. I thought the 47% was mine. 81% accurate? That's not that terrible. I was losing the entire game, but then all of a sudden won in the end. But like I said, like, in this position, -1, yeah, right. Like, yes, it's -1 for a computer. But for a human, this is scary. This is scary. I don't even know how to draw the right arrows. This is scary, everything going on in this position, okay? I've got 2 hungry wolves and a queen, okay? And we only need 1 hungry wolf, okay? And we brought reinforcements with the rook. And so, wow, that was a lot of fun to play. I'm glad that I was able to execute that for you in low time and everything. He did kind of just blunder mate in 2. The whole purpose of this knight sacrifice was, like, obviously, like, if you take, I'm getting in. So, yeah, this check, away from the knight, everything's defended, I'm not attacking it, check, and you come in with this check, trading the queens. Yeah, that would have been good. Thank you so much for watching. That's how you play attacking chess and win. If you learned anything or simply enjoyed me playing chess, please subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000, and it's taking forever, so please do it. I love you. I'll get out of here. Bye. Oh, hello, my fellow chess enthusiast, back at it again in front of the 64 squares, and I intend to show you in this video, facing a 1960 with a question mark, playing a nonsense opening. Because sometimes people put way too much pressure of the game of chess on memorizing and learning openings. So we've given him the center. What we're literally going to do is maybe put my knight like this. He has a huge center. He is completely winning by maybe +1, but I'm trying to show you in this video that it really does not matter. What matters is the middle game, and more so importantly, the end game. So I think we can just trade that off. Not the end of the world. I feel like we're going to go ahead and pin this knight, and maybe we'll make one more like nonsense move. I'll just put the knight here or something, or maybe like slide the queen over. Do something I know that this is a bad move. Absolutely, that is a bad move. And with that, I think we have avoided really any opening theory. Well, we'll step back. This pin is still active. The pawn push, it's a little something to pay attention to. But yeah, my rook is locked in over here, and my queen kind of definitely sucks. My knight can get over here. You know what? We have to free up this bishop. So that kind of just offers a trade immediately. Where the bishop comes, I can attack this bishop and potentially go onto this diagonal, which is actually a decent diagonal for my knight. I mean, for my queen. I'm kind of preventing this queen from developing naturally over here, and I also have this crazy idea of bringing my bishop. So that's defended many different times, so I don't think that that's really going to work. What if I try and crack open the center? He pushes, I capture. Not even going to think about it. Let's just do it. Okay. Also, this is not a bullet game. I need to be playing a tad bit faster. This comes with check. He can't defend it. This would come with this. But I still think we need to kind of prioritize plain and simple development. And so, like I said, we've completely avoided opening theory. None of this game has anything to do with, like, actually memorizing openings. What it kind of did... So we're going to do this. It kind of questions this trade here. This bishop's nice and active over here. My queen is also nice and active. Dude, I could even maybe take with the king. I'm actually thinking about... The knight is pinned. Taking with the king, I could bring a rook. We're doing it. We're doing it. And so... Okay, he steps away from the pin. Very reasonable. I think I like the idea of just attacking the queen, putting my rook on this open file. This diagonal is protected. This will put a pawn in the middle. And that pawn is kind of a weakness. This music sucks, by the way. I don't know how to skip it. There's a fork, but I can cover it. Now, what is going... Now, we've both got 3 minutes. So we have entered the realm of the end of the middle game. And this is the part of the chess... Like, this is the part of the chess. This is the part that is actually important. getting better at this part of the game. That is terrifying. I think I can win a pawn, though. This is covered. This doesn't work. This also doesn't work. This grabs here. If he decides to step in, I can get this check first. Okay, we're stepping in. We have officially grabbed a pawn. He's got this, but I mean, I'm just going to give a check. I think he's putting too much reliance on this right here. Like, I give this check first. Yes, these guys are looking at each other, but if I defend and he captures, I just step up. And, like, yeah, I have a weird pawn structure or whatever. I'm also attacking this pawn at the end of the day. If, like, nothing forces my queen to move from here, we go for this queen trade. Immediately, I'm up 2 pawns. I start thinking queens are on the same diagonal. We go for a queen trade. If I play this and he captures, I capture the queen. He steps up. Then I capture back. And if he goes for this, I just capture, and then the pin is even worse. And if he captures back like this, I bring the rook, with the idea of doubling here on the only open file in the position. Yes. I don't think he really wants to trade this anymore. Like, yes, that's going to ruin my pawn structure, but, like, how are you accessing my weaknesses? And if he wants... We're going for this to allow the check to step up. These guys defend each other. He steps up to attack my pawn, but I think I can just push. Maybe I should take a little deep breath and play a little bit slower. Attacking this. Here, 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 here. So you can do 2 things when a pawn is being attacked. You can push the pawn or you can defend the pawn. I can defend like this and allow this check. Block back, he comes back. I think at the end of the day, I'm going to just have to play this. And I hung my pawn. Terrific. But this forces a rook trade. Oh my god, I hang both of my pawns. So this is the part of chess that I was telling you about. You got to get better at, and I did not get better at it. Now he just comes and attacks more stuff. Check up here, here. Check. That hangs this. We got to go for this. Check. We're going for this check. We're giving this check. What I'm going for is grabbing this pawn. It's completely even now. It's got a 2-on-1 versus a 2-on-1. Why did I make things way more complicated than they need to be? This check is actually really scary, but I touched these guys. So we're going to just be bold. We touch both of these rooks. He can give... It actually makes things kind of weird. He's got to step back. And all of a sudden, I have 2 passed pawns. He still just has these guys. And if I'm able to, like, figure out... I mean, we have to take that, no? He pushes. Ay, ay, ay. Check. He comes closer. Here, here. This, this, this. That's all I got. He's going to be able to defend it. But I am attacking both of these rooks. That is something to just pay attention to. We go here. If he steps back, I can sacrifice. We push, 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 push. That's the new idea. This is the pawn that is defended by this guy. He can tickle my guy. I gotta turn this music off. This is way too hectic of an endgame. How did things get so complicated so quickly? If he steps back, I just take. I'm not even going to think about it. We're going forward. He can go for this pawn. But like I said, I'm touching this guy. So he can take. We're pushing. Check. Oh, God. Check. Where does he go then? Here. No, check. He goes here. Then I give a check. He steps over here. Then I give this check. He has to step up. I sacrifice for this pawn. I think it works. That is going to be an absolutely ridiculous endgame. He steps up. We give this check. He steps over. Check here. And I grab this. Oh my goodness. Did you see that? That was crazy. Absolutely, that was crazy. With 12 seconds on the board. Unbelievable. And I'm pretty sure even if he left this rook over here, it gets hard. It gets hard to stop these guys. I just need one more push. Like if I could find the time to make one pawn push, 2 pawns on the 6th rank defended. Like right now, this is not going to make it. But if the 2 pawns are on the 6th rank, 1 rook, no matter where it is on the board, cannot stop them. And that's just something you need to know. Oh my goodness, that was an exhilarating game of chess. Let's check it with the computer, see how accurate that was. What did I say in the beginning of this video? Bro, we played the most nonsense opening that you could imagine. Got into a winning endgame that I screwed up by losing 2 pawns, and then had to make a crazy tactical thing. The opening didn't matter at all, and that is the most important thing that you can learn from this video, is like getting better at chess is not memorizing openings. Opening theory or like opening principles are good. Opening theory, learn some of it, but don't like spend all of your, just focus tactics, endgame, and that's what you need to get better at. So we have more or less a weird opening. None of these moves made a whole lot of sense. We capture, capture. This move made sense. I like it a lot. We're going for this diagonal castle. These pawns are a little bit weak. Capturing back like this is also decent. The knight gets involved. We step forward. And it's showing that taking with the bishop is actually the best move. I guess they're equal. 0.8 and 0.7, if you can see that over there. So they're pretty much equal. We then bring a rook. Capture. No. Now I capture to win this pawn. And he put too much reliance on this whole idea of getting in like this, removing the defender of this like very scary checkmate. But you don't have to freak out. Also, I could have got in with check. Oh, that's good. There's just that. I went for a queen trade. That's what I saw first. Okay, so the check would have been better. Trade, trade. Trade, trade. Double up the rooks. Here we go. He's attacking my pawns. And then pushing this allows this rook to see this pawn. So I'm supposed to just allow this, 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 check. I step up. He could grab this, but then I'm getting in and grabbing these guys. So you'd have to defend, but then same idea. You could attack this one. I can defend. Okay, so that would have made more sense. That would have made more sense. Instead, I push the pawn. He grabs my pawn. Then I push my rook, and he grabs another pawn. And now it's just a complete draw. We're stepping around, making some moves. We get in. Another check is better because I'm going for your pawn. Oof. You can give a check. I step back with tempo on the rook. If you grab this, I'm still coming in. We had to grab it this one. Oh, now when the king moves, we're grabbing this rook. Oof. Okay. Instead, I make a blunder and I grab a pawn on the side of the board. He grabs a pawn. I grab a pawn. He pushes his pawn. I grab another pawn. I'm touching both of the rooks. King fork, baby. Capture, capture. And then here, white is slightly losing. For one, I can just grab here, and if he takes back, I take this rook. That's not that hard to see. The whole reason of doing this is so that these rooks have to stay guarding each other. That was the whole idea of doing this. Like, it wasn't just to look cool. And so, okay, could have just taken the pawn for sure. Then here, still same idea, could have just taken, so not playing the most accurate. We step back, and he's going for this, whoa, what did I just do there? We're going for this shielding technique, but it doesn't work because I am the greatest chess player who has ever lived. Check here, check here, check here, grab the rook while it's defended, even if he steps up and I grab here, we're still winning. We're still winning. This is what I actually calculated, because he has to waste a move grabbing the rook. Like when I grab that pawn, he has to waste a move grabbing it. And I saw 2 pawns on the 6th rank. Let's see how accurate that was. My guess is like 87%, 84%, 3 blunders. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you learned anything or simply enjoyed watching me play chess, please subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000 and it's taking forever. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Oh, hello, my fellow chess enthusiasts. We are back, sitting in front of the 64 squares, and today we will play the Caro-Kann against an 1834 from, I believe, Spain. Yes, I know some of my flags. We are in the Caro-Kann with the opportunity for the alien gambit on the board. If he captures here, this is what's called the Tartakower. If he challenges us with the alien gambit in a rapid game, I would recommend not playing the alien gambit against me in a rapid game. So generally, if you don't know too much about this position, you sacrifice the knight, but my king sucks, and now I can't castle, and developing this rook becomes a huge problem later in the game. So, one other thing is once a knight or a bishop or something arrives here with check, capturing that piece becomes a problem, because when this pawn comes in and dislodges this knight to anywhere, that opens up these squares for the queen. So, with all of that said, the best move is to go ahead and push this pawn forward. You're challenging the center, and if anything happens and the queens see each other, we happily trade off the queens. So make no mistake about it, I am going to be defending for the duration of this video. You can come forward with the bishop, that's totally acceptable, but then he captures and your king comes forward, so you can also just go ahead and push this pawn. There's nothing wrong with that. He hits us with the check. And I believe that it is actually best practice to step back here. He can jump in this way, and then we just simply move the rook. Then it becomes somewhat of a liability along this diagonal. As long as I don't make any huge blunders out of the opening, we are going to be all right. We can also jump forward with this knight and kind of get in the way of this diagonal. And so pretty much my next move, the whole reason of pushing this pawn right here was not necessarily to challenge the center. This is not what we needed to do. This is basically what you could call, like, not a clearance sacrifice, because I could always capture back, but we're creating a square for the knight, because just getting in the middle is what needs to happen. And so, okay, the knight is forking these pieces. I think I'm just going to step forward with the rook. I'm not even going to really think about it. The rook is attacked. I'm stepping up. If you want to go ahead and grab this, cool. I can step somewhere, preferably off of this diagonal. So if he captures like this, I might step over. And like I said, getting this rook into the game is just going to be absolutely no fun. So that opens up the door to this, which pins this guy. Let's think about this for a second. I like the idea of just getting my queen active. He could then castle. But even, like, if he jumps back and he captures and I capture back, yes, you get this check. But I think just going ahead and capturing. Sorry if I was silent there for a little bit. I'm trying to think about what I'm supposed to be doing here. I like this. I think he's probably going to just castle. But if we trade the queens, oh dear lord, he's in trouble. So it looks like he wants to give up both pieces, because this is still defended by the knight. We trade the queens.